Hi, loves. This is your Friday, May 22nd science review video for Unit 4B Lesson 2. We're pretty much coming to the end of our science. I think we have one more lesson week next week, which, by the way, is a 4-day week. And then after that, we have our test week, and we're pretty much done with science. You're going to find that we're coming to an end for a lot of our subjects. So ELA, this is the last week for like the big ELA week, pretty much coming to an end for math and science. So you guys are doing a phenomenal job at home. Keep up the hard work. Make sure that you're turning in your assignments on time. Remember, you need to be independent enough where you're checking your grades. If you find that you're missing something specifically for science, log into the science website, and on the left side, kind of what I showed you guys before, you could check your grades. If you're seeing zeros for the videos, because this is going to be part of your science grade, if you're seeing zeros for the videos, message me, join me on Zoom. I will walk you guys through to see why you've had those zeros. If there's a mistake, I have no problem changing it. My biggest thing is you guys have to reach out to me for the science, so I know that you're being independent enough with your grades, because I've already reached out a few times to some of you guys, but until you guys come to me, we can't fix it. I would hate for you guys to get a poor grade on science because something as small as not watching the videos and submitting it. So just check in with me, check your grades on science, on the grades course section, and then we'll totally fix that. But other than that, you guys are really doing a really good job. I'm kind of sad that science is coming to an end for us in second grade, but really I can't even express to you guys how proud I am for all of your hard work at home. So with that being said, let's just jump straight into science, get this video nice and short and sweet. So give me 1 second. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen for science. Okay, so I'm gonna go over your science from the week. Excuse me, let's see what you guys had to do. You guys had, for Mondays, you had workbook page 73, which was your probe page, and then workbook pages 74 to 75. So let's go ahead and start with the probe page, which is going to be encountering the phenomenon, and that would be desert habitats. So let's go and start here. 73, yeah. Let's see, why is my computer? Okay, here we go. So we have 3 friends right here. We have Mila, Violet, and I believe that says Sadie. And it says 3 friends are looking at pictures of animals in their habitats. Remember, habitats is a place that provides the food that an animal needs, the water, and the shelter, or some type of living area. Which friend has the best idea about the kinds of animals in forests and in grasslands? You guys know what forests are. We've read about different types of forests, and then grasslands are usually like open areas that are filled with like plants, grass, flowers typically. So Mila, the first friend, says, I think forests and grasslands have the same kinds of animals. So she thinks that the same kind of animals are found in both habitats. Violet says, I think forests and grasslands have some of the same kinds of animals, so only some. And Sadie says, I think forests and grasslands have different kinds of animals. So the first thing that you guys should have done on this page was bubble in who you agreed with. Remember, this is just a prediction. Maybe you changed it later. If not, at the end of the lesson review, you can always change your prediction later, okay? So I'm going to come back to this page. And the next thing on my to-do list was 74 and 75. So let's go ahead and open up the encountering the phenomenon. I kind of messed that up for you guys, sorry. Okay, so it says what plants and animals live here. So we're trying to figure out what kind of animals and plants live in specific type of habitats. Wow, so it looks like there is a huge tree, beautiful. And there's some animals here. I'm trying to think what those are. Deer, maybe? I don't know, I have my glasses on. All right, so we're trying to figure out what kind of animals live here. So it's probably a forest, if I had to guess. Let's go ahead and we're going to check out the video, which you guys should have watched and submitted, which was called The Desert Habitat to See the Phenomenon in Action. So let's go ahead and push play. You know what? I'm going to minimize this. So it looks like we have a wolf kind of walking around his area. All right. So this is a desert area, habitat specifically, and the question that it asked you, I closed out of it, sorry. There is a question on page 75 for you guys, and you guys should have answered this question in your workbook. And the question says, look at the photo of the deer and watch the video. Observe the animals in the habitat. What do you wonder about these animals, and share your questions with a partner. So me, I might say, where is this tree located? What other animals are found here? What is the coyote looking for? Did I say wolf? I can't remember what I said. But I could say, like, what is that coyote looking for? So those are just some of my questions. And then my favorite parts are the did you know, little Snapple facts. Says some redwood trees are more than 2,000 years old. That is super cool. So 2,000 years, that is a long time ago, you guys. That's like, and if you guys have ever been to the redwoods, it's just a beautiful area where, I mean, I don't know if you guys have been, but it's like the biggest trees I've ever seen in my life. And if you guys ever get a chance to kind of go to that national forest over there, you definitely should, because the trees are just the most beautiful thing. They even have a tree where you can actually drive through. It's got a huge hole. All right, so that was pretty much it for, was that it for Mondays? It looks like that might have been it for Monday. Tuesday, you should have done 78 through 79, which is going to be learning about some new habitats. Here we go. Is this one it? Read about land habitats. Okay, here we go. 78 through 79. And then there's a video for us to watch. Okay, land habitats. Woodland Forest. And this is Mrs. Witcher's theme in her classroom, if you could not have told. I love the forest. So it says, a forest is a large area of land that is covered with trees and bushes. A woodland forest has many trees that lose their leaves each fall. Some trees stay green all year round. So we kind of read about this too, actually, with our ELA story last week with fir tree, I think it was. So we did learn that not all trees lose their leaves. Many kinds of animals live in a woodland forest. Deer, foxes, and black bears live in this habitat. Skunks, rabbits, and squirrels also live there. Birds, mice, and insects live there too. What kind of animals live in the forest habitat? Tap on the orange icons below to find it. So I did not assign this for you guys because it was already available in your workbook, but we have a raccoon, we have a gray squirrel, a black bear, a rabbit, a red fox, insects, oh my gosh. We have a red-tailed hawk, deer, mice, fungi, which is actually mushrooms are considered fungus, so fungi, and worms. Love it. Oh my gosh. Just like my classroom, this makes me miss my classroom. All right. Let's see what else we read about. Tropical rainforest, and you guys actually know a lot about tropical rainforest because we read about this in ELA. Tropical rainforest. The trees in a tropical rainforest grow tall and have huge leaves. It rains almost every day in this habitat. Many kinds of animals live in a rainforest. Sloths, birds, and monkeys are some animals that live in the trees. Large animals such as jaguars live on the ground. Tap on the black dots to go to the next slide. Oh, okay. So I guess I can show you guys this. So here's a little jaguar. What else do we have? Toucans make their nests and holes in trees. Oh, you guys didn't get to see these. And then we have sloths eat leaves from trees. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. All right, so here was your first question on your workbook, page 79. It says, how are woodland forest and rainforest the same and how they are different? So you're comparing and contrasting them. A sample answer you could have given me was woodland forest and rainforest both have different kinds of plants and animals. Woodland forests can get rain or snow, and rainforests get rain almost every day. So you're telling me the type of animals that you could find there. You can find them in both areas, but then there's also different animals and plants. And then the next thing that they talked about with comparing and contrasting was the type of weather that you would have in those habitats, okay? Next was page 80 and 81. We are reading about hot and cold deserts. A desert is a large area of land that gets very little rain. I'm going to highlight that. I should have highlighted stuff for you on the other page. Some deserts are hot during the day and cold at night. Foxes, snakes, and hawks are some animals that live in hot deserts. Some deserts are cold at night. The Arctic is a cold desert near the North Pole. I did not know that. Polar bears, moose, seals, and walruses are some animals that live in the Arctic. I did not know that this is actually considered a Arctic desert. Interesting. Very interesting. Did you guys know that? Huh. And then here is a picture with a caption. We have kit foxes get most of their water from animals they eat. Interesting. Because remember, it doesn't really rain very often in the desert, so they have to get their water from elsewhere. So they get it by eating animals. Here's a picture of a polar bear who hunts the seals under the ice in the Arctic. Oh my gosh. And we have some plants. We have in the hot desert. And then here's in the cold desert. So you can see that sometimes plants grow in a cold desert. How are these plants the same and how are they different? So me just looking at it, I could say that they're same because there is greenery. I could say that they're different because there actually looks like there's more plants in the cold desert than in the hot desert. I don't know, what did you guys say? What did you guys say? How they're the same, how they're different? Hopefully you guys were thinking about that when you were reading. Now going to page 81, we're going to talk about grasslands. Grasslands are filled with grasses and wildflowers. I'm going to highlight that. It's kind of important. Small animals can hide in the grass and shrubs. A lot of plant-eating animals can survive on the grass and leaves of this habitat. This also means that meat-eating animals can hunt for food. So the meat-eating animals, like coyotes and such, can actually search for these types of animals that live on the plants. You guys are very familiar with prairie dogs. We've actually read I think we've read like 3 stories, including prairie dogs. So just a reminder, prairie dogs live in tunnels underground, and we actually read about the tunnels that they live in. And remember, they kind of live with families, and we learned how they kind of yap like a dog. So that's just prairie dogs. Here's a picture of bison, not to be confused with buffalo. Bison are different. Yeah, that's awesome. And then down below in your workbook page, it might be the next one. So I'm going to get to that question that you guys have on page 81 after we watch this little video. Watch diversity on land to explore different plants and animals that live in land habitats.
Look at these land habitats. Which one could a cactus live in? How about a cheetah? Let's look at some habitats and see why they make perfect homes for the plants and animals that live there. In a desert habitat, like this one, there's very little water. Deserts get less than 25 centimeters or 10 inches of rain or snow per year. There are many kinds of cacti in deserts. Cacti are plants that can survive in dry places. Their roots are good at getting water from desert soil. A cactus can store water in its stem to use later. This prickly pear cactus has spines instead of leaves. Helps it save water and protects it from animals that might try to eat it. The cactus is also edible, except for the spines. Here is a saguaro cactus. Each cactus can weigh about 2,000 kilograms or 4,000 pounds. The desert is home to many different animals. Greater roadrunners run fast and use their speed to catch food, like this lizard. This camel can survive several months without a drink of water. Hump is filled with fat. When the camel's body breaks down fat, it gets both energy and water that were stored in the fat. This desert viper moving over the sand. This kind of movement is called sidewinding. This snake buries itself in the sand to stay cool during the hot desert day. It also hides to surprise prey like lizards and small mice. Jackrabbits are nocturnal animals, which means they are most active at night when the temperature is cooler. They eat the plants found in the desert, including cacti. Did you know that not all deserts are hot? Let's travel to an Arctic habitat. The Arctic is a desert because it receives very little rain or snow. Most of the water on the ground is frozen. Look at all the snow and ice. In some areas of the Arctic, temperatures can get down to negative 70 degrees Celsius or negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really cold. Not many plants or trees can grow in the Arctic. Grasses like tundra grass can survive the cold. Spruce trees grow nearby in slightly warmer temperatures. The animals that live in the Arctic have to survive the cold temperatures. Over here, we spot a snowy owl. Snowy owls use their great eyesight and hearing to help them catch rodents, fish, and rabbits. Here's a polar bear. Polar bears have a thick coat of fur to keep them warm, even on their paws. Their fur helps them blend in with the snow and ice, so they're not seen when they stalk prey, such as seals and young walruses. They are also great swimmers. Another animal found in this habitat is the Arctic wolf. Like a polar bear, the Arctic wolf has thick fur, which keeps in heat. Let's look at the grassland habitat. The main plant that grows here is, you guessed it, grass. Different types of grass grow here based on the type of soil, the sunlight, and the time of year. You will also find shrubs and a few trees. The acacia tree can be found in warm grasslands all around the world. The plants in a grassland habitat are food for many animals. This grassland in Africa is a great home for zebras. Giraffes eat the leaves from acacia trees. With their long necks, giraffes are the tallest land animals on the planet. Cheetahs also live on African grasslands, where they have plenty of space to run. Cheetahs can run as fast as a car on a highway to catch their prey. Lions hunt for animals on the grasslands. Hyenas can live on grasslands or in other habitats. They live in groups and work together to hunt animals for food. Hyenas take care of their young cubs until they're old enough to hunt and protect themselves. Here is the final habitat we will visit today: forests. Forests need more water than deserts or grasslands to support all these plants and trees. There are different kinds of forests around the world. Each one has many different plants and animals. Some pine trees can grow very tall. This is an advantage in a forest. Taller trees get more sunlight. On the lowest levels of a forest, you might find different kinds of mushrooms. Mushrooms get their food from dead plants or animals that are breaking down, like this rotting log. Forests are full of animals, big and small. Take a look at this porcupine. Those sharp quills on its back help protect it from predators. Chipmunks are small rodents that hide underground in burrows they dig on the forest floor. These little animals can dig tunnels 9 meters or 30 feet long. Foxes hide in dens and are most active at night. Look up in that tree. With their sharp claws, black bears are great climbers. Coyotes can be found in forests throughout North America. Coyotes are not picky eaters. Their prey includes rodents, frogs, snakes, insects, and even deer. They will also eat fruit and grass. This woodpecker is called a red-naped sapsucker. It uses its beak to peck a hole in the bark to eat the tree sap. We looked at 4 different land habitats and saw some of the different plants and animals that live there: desert, grassland, Arctic, and forest. Can you think of any other plants or animals that live in these areas?
All right, so let's see. The next question in your book on page 81 was, explain why some land habitats have more kinds of living things than other lands. Habitats, an example could be that some land habitats have more room for plants and animals to grow and live. You could have also mentioned something about the water that's found in those habitats, maybe even the sunlight that's found, or the type of animals that are found there. All of that does play a role in what is living in a habitat, okay? All right, that was Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get into Wednesdays. We needed to do page 82 and 83, and I actually did a inquiry activity for you guys. Where's it at? It actually might be right here. All right, so the inquiry activity that I had you guys do was more of exploring the hot desert. What was it called? Exploring hot and cold desert habitats in the simulation. I always kind of like doing these anyways because it's fun for you guys to play around with the computer. So first starting off, you guys had to make a prediction. So it says desert habitats. You have learned that living things survive in many different habitats. Compare how animals survive in 2 different desert habitats. So your prediction, how are animals in hot and cold deserts alike and how are they different? Your prediction could be anything. Maybe my prediction might be they're different depending on like, I might talk about like their coats that they have. So in a hot desert, I might say that an animal might not have as much fur as maybe in the colder areas. I might talk about that maybe some of the animals that live in a cold area might eat different types of food, maybe less plants because it's maybe not as vivid there. Those are just some of my predictions. So hopefully you guys wrote one down. The next thing that you guys got to do was work with this simulation. So let's go ahead and I'm going to play just a little bit. I'm not going to do too much because you guys have already played. Different kinds of animals live in hot and cold deserts. Select an animal to find out how it adapts to its environment. Adapts means how it survives there. So we have right here, it's a kangaroo rat. It's sleeping. Try again at night. We have a scorpion and it's sleeping. Try again at night. Oh, are you noticing that all of these little animals are having like the Z's coming out of it? They're sleeping. A fox is sleeping. Try again at night. And this rattlesnake is sleeping. Try again at night. So the first thing, an owl is a small bird. It lives in the holes in a cacti. It looks for food during the day, especially in the evening. So far we have all these animals. This is daytime. Let's see what happens to these animals at nighttime. Oh, they all came out of their little burrows. That's a question too. Kind of think about why are they living in burrows? If it's super hot here, think about what is it like in the inside of the burrow. So it looks like my fox came out at night out of the den to hunt only at night. The den protects it from the hot desert sun. My rattlesnake comes out of its home under the ground only at night. In this way, it escapes the heat of the desert sun. The scorpion also leaves its hiding spot under the rocks and in holes only at night. By living in the shade, it stays away from the desert heat. And then the kangaroo also comes out. Staying underground protects it from the heat in the desert. So, they all are awake except for my little owl who is sleeping. Try again during the day. All right, so that's those types of animals. Let's go check out the cold desert. So we have, I'm not going to read them all directly, but it says that this fox lives in a den all through the year. In the summer, its fur changes, to brown to make it match the ground. So it comes camouflage. This makes it easier to hide and catch prey. What do we have? We have this bird's feathers turn brown in the summer. It matches the color of the ground. This makes it difficult for other animals to be seen. So we're kind of finding out that a lot of them are changing their fur. This lemming can live in the cold desert all year round. In the summer, it lives in a burrow under the ground near the grass that it likes to eat. Got a bumblebee, flies around from flower to flower in the summer, and it feeds on pollen and nectar. And then we have a caribou, also called a reindeer, lives in the cold desert only in the summer. It eats grasses and fruit.
This caribou, also called
Okay, so you see all your animals. Let's see, this is all during the summer. A lot of them change their fur. Think about their fur now during the winter. Can't see him. Can't really see this one. Can't see this one. And then these two look like they're sleeping. I don't want to go through too much of it just because I don't want to waste too much time, but that was super cool. Looks like this one is gone south, so it's not even here. It's gone south because it probably can't survive in the winter. This one has turned white, probably blend in with the snow. Your bird turned white to blend in with the snow. Our little mouse cold desert thingy burrows is in the sleep down in his little burrow. And my little bumblebee is sleeping during the winter. Okay, super cool. Okay, so now that we have done the simulation, remember you guys can always go on and check. We're going to carry out our investigation. Find out what animals live in the find out what animals live in the hot desert and which one lives in the cold desert. You guys were supposed to record your data in the little T-chart. So you should have talked about animals that live in a hot desert and animals that live in a cold desert. Here are just some samples. For the hot desert, you could have said that the kangaroo stays underground, the fox stays underground, and the owl stays awake during the day and sleeps in the cacti at nighttime. So that's just talking about the animals. In the cold desert, some of the examples would be that the fox's fur changes to brown in the summer and then matches back in white during the winter. You can also tell me that some of the animals live underground and the caribou leaves. Those are just some little simple examples, okay? Question number 3 says, what was similar about the animals that lived in the cold and the hot desert, and what were some of the differences? A sample could be that both habitats had foxes, that's true, and then they both had birds. Some animals in the cold desert changed their coats in the winter to blend in with the snow. So that's just an example of what you could have written down for number 3. Number 4 says, what helps a lemming live in the cold desert? A lemming can burrow underground during the winter and survive in the cold. So just like they survive in the cold by going under the ground, actually the animals in the hot desert do the same, but they're surviving from the heat. Okay? All right, my loves, that is everything for Wednesday. Last thing we're going to do is Thursday's lesson, which is our review. And remember, we do skip a lot, but you're always welcome to go and kind of read those on your own. So the first thing I have to do was I actually wanted to revisit my probe page to just kind of check to see if I want to change my answer. Where's my probe page? All the way at the top. Here we go. All right, so remember, you guys could have made a change to your prediction. So it says, these friends are looking at pictures of animals in their habitats. Which friend has the best idea about the kinds of animals in the forest and in the grassland? Remember, Mila said, I think the forest and grasslands have the same kinds of animals. Violet says, I think forest and grasslands have the same kinds of, have some of the same kinds of animals. That's the word I skipped. Some of the same kinds of animals. And then Sadie said, I think that the forest and grasslands have different. Did you guys make a change to yours? Well, the answer is Violet was correct. The forest and grasslands have some of the same animals since they both have trees, but other things are different. So she was correct by saying that some are the same, but not all, okay? So you should have agreed with Violet. If not, go ahead and correct that now on your page. And then let's go ahead and review what we have learned from this week. What plants and animals live here? Tell how animals can survive in different land habitats. Just an example, let's talk about maybe the different types of deserts. So you could tell me that some animals survive in the hot desert by burrowing underground. You could tell me that some animals survive in the cold deserts by changing their coats so they could be camouflaged with the type of area that they, season that they're in, whether it's summer, they're brown, winter, they're white. Let's see what they said. Animals eat nuts and berries in the forest and find shelters in trees. Animals in the hot desert dig burrows to stay cool. Animals in grasslands use the grass for food and for shelter. And this was just an example, okay? The next thing was a multiple choice question that you guys got to answer. It says, which sentence best explains why a rainforest is a good habitat for birds? The rainforest has treetops with fruit. That would be good. They like to eat the fruit. The rainforest has a lot of tall grass. Think about, does a bird hang out in the grass? The rainforest has rain nearly every day. Does a bird want a lot of rain? And the rainforest has plants that grow close to the ground. So does a bird want to eat the plants in the ground? So which of these did you guys say was the correct answer? Let's go ahead and look at the answer. You should have chosen A, the rainforest has treetops with fruit. The reason why this is the answer is think about where a bird wants to be. If a bird is on the ground, a fox can get it, right? So being at the top of a tree is the safest place. So it has the shelter of a habitat that it's looking for. Well, what grows on the treetops is fruit. So that gives these animals food to eat. So your answer should have been A. Question number 2 says, read this question below. Which land habitat has the greatest number of different kinds of animals? The steps to answer this question are out of order. Drag 1, 2, 3, or 4 in front of each step to show the order that would make sense. On your guys' workbook, I believe you just put the number. So let's see, write notes about the information you read. Think of keywords to use to search the topic, understand the question, go online to research the topic. So what would be number 1? I don't know about you, but I probably would need to understand the question. Yep, you need to understand the question. Okay. Think of keywords to use to search the topic. So not only do you need to understand the question, but you need to understand what you're going to be searching for. Then you would need to go online to search the topic, and then from there you would have to read the information. Is that correct? Yeah. So your answers should be 4, 2, 1, and 3. Yay. All right, did I give you guys the last page to do? Yes, I did. And then this was just a fun activity for you guys. It says, you are a forest technician. Make a sign to tell people how cutting down too many trees might affect the animals in the woodland forest. Think about how birds, we learned, live in the top of trees, how it gives them places to live. And the shade is kind of important too for some of the animals. So remember, what we're talking about is maybe making a sign that says, don't cut down the trees, but you have to explain why. I gave you guys a bunch of, a huge area to draw yours. So like a little sign that pretty much says save the trees of some sort. But that was a fun lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, we have one more week to do next week, and then we have our science test. Just a reminder, I'm going to end this video by saying go onto the science website, check to see if you've gotten credit for the videos. If you have not, message me or join me for Zoom. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Please join us for Harry Potter. We're having so much fun reading it. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Remember, next week, no school on Monday. Get you guys an extra day to hang out at your house. I love you all. I hope you have a great weekend, and I miss you. Bye.